The clamour for state police and the restructuring of Nigeria's security architecture has become louder. However, this is still opposition in several quarters that it could be deployed by state governors to oppress their political opponents, leading to clashes over federal and state police jurisdictions and entrenching ethnic disunity and discrimination nationwide. But some citizens have argued that the law on state policing can put practical provisions to constrict the governors from abusing the system. Good enough, President Bola Tinubu and the 36 state governors agreed to legalize state police into existence by amending the 1999 constitution that grants exclusivity to the federal government for now. For this conversation, we are now joined by a systems consultant, Interpol National Central Bureau, Abuja, Sir Chikwe Udensi. He will also discuss ways to cut the cost of governance. Good afternoon. It's great to have you on Newsday. I'm going to get straight into this conversation. Of course, we've heard all of the various voices of dissent when it comes to state policing. To start our conversation, what are your thoughts? Do you think there are more merits to downsides to us seeing the establishment of state police?
Yes, thank you very much. There is no doubt that there is a need for the nation to change what we have right now. What I mean by that is the Nigerian police force as it is right now does not necessarily satisfy the security need, the internal security need we have in the country. So there's a general consensus. Everyone agrees that there are serious problems. And we have identified these problems, like welfare of the policemen, like the number of policemen, the numerical strength of the policemen in the country, also the conduct of the policemen, and also the allegation of the use of these policemen by the central authority against perceived enemies. But the question is, if we are saying that the police is poorly funded right now, we are talking about police that is being funded by the federal government, that is receiving more than 50% of the revenues that come to the country. Are we going to hand it over to the states that receive about 20-something percent or 26% of the revenue? It won't work. If we are also talking about the abuse, especially the abuse of the use of policemen, the question is, should we escalate the abuse? Right now, we know that some states are having problems associated with the small responsibilities given to them already. We know about the State Electoral Commission. Look at how the states are handling them. The State Electoral Commission. If it is the National Electoral Commission that is handling any election, you see that all parties will certainly win elections. But look at what happens when states handle them. Not even a councillor position goes to any other party except the state party. And look at the extent of disregard to dissenting views by the governors. Also look at the abuse of even the joint allocation of local government and state account. Are you going to give these same people the same more powers to say that you are giving them state police? The question is, what do we do? The answer is very simple. Those of us in the security circles, especially the certified systems consultants, security systems consultant, we believe that what we require today is not state police, especially to the extent to which you give it to the hands of governors. No. We are saying that it will be catastrophic. It will be more problems to the country. We are saying we need community policing. And if you listen to so many people who talk about state police, what they end up telling you is community police. The community policing project is what is the in thing around the world. We're not going to give to a state governor who already is enjoying absolute and total immunity. He's immune to any form of investigation or prosecution, even criminal and civil matters. You cannot prosecute the governor. And look at the attitude of governors today towards opposition. Is that people are going to give this command and control of arms and ammunition and the personnel of those who handle them in a state? It will be a disaster. It will be a problem. So as much as we all agree that there's a need for us to depart from what we have right now, improve on what we have right now, should we escalate the problem by doing the wrong thing? Yes. We need to take the policing to the people. But how do we do that? By handing over command and control of arms and ammunition and the personnel to the governors?
So, Udensi, I'd like
Look
to
at the job given to them already, the state INEC.
I'd like to come in here just because we're running out of time. And
yes, go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead.
I mean, given the concerns about the potential abuse of power by state governors through this deployment of state police, I mean, you've spoken about the safeguards or mechanisms that should be put in place to ensure the accountability, transparency, and respect for human rights in the operation of state law enforcement agencies. What role, very quickly, do you envision for the community engagement and participation in the oversight management of these state police forces? Because you've spoken about being able to empower the local communities to contribute to improving security outcomes. But how do we do that?
Community policing. It has a simple formula. It is working around the world. Look at in England, it is called bureau policing. The police of the Bureau of Croydon, Bureau of Hampshire is there. In the United States of America, it is community policing. County policing, that is what is there. So we're not talking about where you must hand over the command and control, like I said earlier, of arms and ammunition to people who already have immunity and people who are sitting on high horses and currently abusing the positions already given to them. Look at the joint account of local government. The intention was very beautiful intention. Just like right now, people are bringing great ideas about state policing. Look at what happened to local government accounts. I was the Secretary General of the Local Government Association of Local Governments for several years. It was disaster. It is still disaster because no local government at the end of the month get their money because of that mistake of allowing joint account of states and local government. That is what we see. So if you are going to still give more powers, especially security, which is very key, everything revolves around security, to give that power to states unfettered, even when you have the best intention, like the best intentions we also had in the joint allocation of resources to local and state governments. Best intentions were had when you gave the election of local government chairmen and councillors to the House of States. Look at what is happening. Do we have any elections? It's only about 7 or 8 states that have elections. We're talking about a very disturbing arrangement. If you have this as your yesterday's experience, why do you compound the problem by giving policing to those who ordinarily cannot even pay the salaries of their local government, of the state's employees, pensioners are not being paid salaries. They can't even pay minimum wage. So are you going to give them the payment of salaries of those who are going to carry arms? If you don't pay them those salaries, they'll make use of those arms. Simple. And this is very clear. And that is why we are saying,
it is very clear.
Yes, we have lots of problems. Let us make sure that this problem is properly handled and not add more to the problems.
Sir Chikwe, you know, when you look at Nigeria's security situation, there are multiple factors that come into play, and one can't ignore the regional context of what's happening in the Sahel, especially when we're looking at the terrorism component of our security crisis. Now, do you think enough attention is being paid to border patrols? State policing is one way to look at it. We've seen farm rangers, the concept of farm rangers also being introduced. However, do you think that a sizable investment needs to be made into a stronger border patrol force?
Well, border patrol has nothing to do with policing. It is border police, which is immigration. We have an enormous problem in that area. There was a recent study of the position of what we have in our borders. Our borders are very porous. We have 5 major entries into the country, and we also have about 22 minor entries points. And when I talk about minor entry points, we are talking about having empty drums on both sides, and then bamboo. That's very, very disgraceful entry points. But the question is, how many illegal entry points do we have? Over 2,000. And the other disturbing thing to it is that the proximity of the illegal entry points to the major entry points is very disturbing. From the major entry point, you'll be seeing illegal entry points. It's very disturbing. So it is not the business of the police. It has nothing to do with internal security. But it creates an enormous problem for internal security. So our borders are very porous. It's another one that we need to discuss eventually, because we have made several suggestions on how to see we can police our borders. It is a very disturbing arrangement. When we're talking about policing our borders, we're not just talking about human traffic. We're talking about both human and vehicular traffic. Illegal, over 2,000 coming into the country. It is creating an enormous internal security problem. And I agree that we need to look into that area while also looking into internal security. But as for community policing, which we have all insisted is the basic and very acceptable tool today that we can use to enhance the internal security of our country. Not going to hand over the command and control of arms and ammunition and also the personnel to the hands of the hands of state governments. It is not acceptable by most people who insist that it will be chaotic, it will cause problem in our system.
Thank you so much, Sir Chikwe Udensi, Systems Consultant at the Interpol National Central Bureau in Abuja. We appreciate your time and analysis.